Welcome to the pre-designed public touchpoint for the Six Forks Road Improvement Project. The project map and renderings with additional details are available for review on the project webpage. Thank you for viewing this short presentation. Our design consultant for this project is RK&K. A corridor design study was previously prepared for the Six Forks Road from I-440 to Lynn Road and was adopted by City Council in 2016. The goal of the design study was to determine the needs of the users and provide a framework to improve multimodal transportation that challenges the ideas about the appropriate balance between automobile travel and other forms of travel. Several public meetings were held during the study phase to help develop a master plan for the corridor. The design being presented today builds upon this master plan for this section of Rowan Street to Lynn Road. A link to the original corridor study can be found on the project webpage. The project extends along Six Forks Road from Moran Street to Lynn Road. Existing development along Six Forks is primarily commercial, office, and institutional. However, several residential neighborhoods also abut Six Forks Road. We are also proposing some improvements along Rowan Street, including a roundabout at Revere Drive, which will reduce congestion on Six Forks Road due to pickup and drop-off traffic at Carroll Middle School. Let's take a look at existing conditions along Six Forks Road. Six Forks Road is currently an undivided road with 2 or 3 lanes of travel in each direction. The roadway is inconsistent north of Rowan Street. The number and width of through lanes varies, and in several areas the outside lane ends or becomes a turn lane, leading to driver confusion. There is an existing center two-way turn lane along the majority of the corridor, and traffic can freely turn left at uncontrolled intersections. There are sidewalks on both sides of Six Forks Road in this section, but there are no bike lanes. The speed limit is 35 miles per hour south of Millbrook Road and 45 miles per hour to the north. The corridor is primarily commercial, office space, and institutional, with several areas of older single-family residential lots. Within this section of Six Forks, there are 3 schools, 7 churches, and several large office buildings. The south end of the project is considered the gateway to Midtown, with nearby North Hills development. The area is currently trending towards more of an urban corridor as properties have redeveloped. The purpose of the project is to improve the mobility and safety of all users along the corridor. The roadway improvements are being constructed to primarily address projected growth in vehicular traffic and improve vehicular safety by reducing the number of conflict points. Separated bike lanes behind the curb and protected intersections will increase mobility and safety for all users. As part of this project, transit stops will be consolidated and enhanced shelters will be installed to improve service along the corridor. Where possible, the existing overhead utilities will be consolidated to one side. Several challenges were identified along the project corridor that shape the design of our improvements. In several areas, homes, businesses, and parking lots are very close to the existing road due to other improvements made over the years. Where possible, the proposed alignment has been shifted to minimize impacts to adjacent properties, but not all the impacts can be eliminated. Due to the amount of widening in some areas, reconstructing the driveways will be challenging. Several large water transmission mains and a water storage tank that serves most of Raleigh will limit the ability to modify the alignment or elevations in some locations. There are numerous overhead and underground private utilities on both sides of the road that will need to be relocated prior to construction. As the area redevelops, new private utilities are being frequently installed. The typical roadway section is shown on this slide and is looking to the north. The proposed section is similar to the Goldilocks section presented during the design study phase, but slightly smaller based on the efficiencies in the spacing of the bicycle and pedestrian facilities. The narrow existing lanes will be widened to a standard 11-foot width, and there will be 3 travel lanes in each direction. A 21-foot wide median will replace the existing center two-way turn lane with turn pockets at key locations. Bicycle and pedestrian paths will be separated behind the curb. The bicycle path is only 5 feet wide and is intended to be a one-way with the ability to change directions of travel at any of the proposed protected intersections. The biggest change to the corridor will be the installation of a grass median with left turn lanes as signalized intersections. A dedicated left turn lane will allow drivers to pull out of through traffic to safely make a left turn. This will also allow through traffic to flow more freely and provide a safer corridor for vehicles, pedestrians, and cyclists. The median will also restrict left turns onto Six Forks roads from many locations where it is currently allowed, and is intended to reduce the number of broadside accidents caused by vehicles turning left across several lanes of travel. The median will also allow for pedestrian refuge at intersections for those unable to cross the road in a single light change. The overall landscape design is planned for low maintenance and sustainability. Accent planting will be added to transit stops and bioretention areas, also referred to as stormwater control measures, to provide visual interest at special locations for motorists and pedestrians. As design progresses, more detailed plans will be made available showing locations of proposed plantings. We understand that restricting left turns where people have historically been able to make left turns can be upsetting to residents, and that the travel may be less convenient for those living along the corridor. But several studies within the state and around the country show large reductions in crashes and fatalities after installing a median. While center two-way left turn lanes can work in some situations, drivers frequently misuse them and reduce the overall safety of the road. As can be seen by the data on this slide, the median will allow us to achieve one of the primary goals of increasing safety for all users of the road. Separate bicycle and pedestrian paths are recommended in the original design study. Both of these paths will be located behind the curb to improve safety and mobility. Instead of recently installed 10-foot wide multi-use paths on other city projects that combine cyclists and pedestrians, the separated dedicated bicycle path will be 5 feet wide and is intended for a one-way travel. Cyclists will also have separate crossings at the protected intersections. Protected intersections will be constructed at all proposed signalized intersections within the project corridor. The goal of protected intersections is to improve the visibility of crossing cyclists and pedestrians to drivers. Protected intersections may be new to Raleigh, but have been successfully installed around the country and show safety improvements for cyclists and pedestrians. In the past, intersections were designed with a large radii and a right turn lanes to improve traffic flow, but came at the cost of increased accidents involving pedestrians and cyclists. A protected intersection is designed to slow right-turning vehicles and improve driver visibility by the approaching crosswalk at more of a perpendicular angle. The separated bike and pedestrian crosswalks will be set back further than normal to improve the approach angle for passenger vehicles. The typical larger curb radii will be reduced to slow passenger vehicles, while a mountable concrete island behind the curb will accommodate larger vehicles. In addition to slowing down turning vehicles, the mountable island will provide a larger refuge area and will reduce the intersection's crossing distance. While a separate bicycle traffic signal phase is not being considered for this project, pedestrians and cyclists will be given a head start to cross the intersection before vehicles receive the green light. Overall, these improvements are intended to improve safety and mobility for pedestrians and cyclists while minimizing impacts to vehicular traffic flow. As part of this project, we will be installing several bioretention areas along Six Forks Road. Some of these treatment facilities may be small treatment areas behind the curb or larger centralized facilities where more room is available. They will temporarily store frequent small storm events and treat runoff prior to entering the nearby streams. Sediment, nitrogen, and other contaminants will be removed by the media within the filter. They are designed to bypass larger storm events to the proposed underground storm system to prevent overloading the system. Water-tolerant grasses and plantings will be placed on top of the media. Existing transit stops will be consolidated to 7 locations in each direction of travel, as shown on this map. Transit shelters will be installed at locations where transfer service is available to other transit lines. We are currently at the pre-designed public touchpoint. We will reach back out to residents for additional touchpoints as the design progresses. Additional details related to the right-of-way impacts will be provided at the next public touchpoint. Please keep an eye on the project website for most up-to-date information and schedule. Please take a moment to fill out a brief survey located on the project website. We look forward to hearing your feedback. If you have any questions on the design, please contact the project manager. His phone number and email are shown on this slide. We thank you for your interest in the Six Forks Road Improvement Project and for viewing this presentation.